Hello everyone, Happy New Year. This is our first live video for the year and we have a very relevant topic to start off the new year with. We will be joined by Dr. Achyuthan Eswar for this live. I'm going to get him on right away and introduce the topic for the day. I hope that all of you have had a wonderful day so far and you're looking forward to a new year. Many of us make resolutions at this time of the year, and some of the top resolutions that we make are for our health and wellness. So, typically, eating better, exercising, self care, better stress management, all of these are on our list when we begin our year. So, today, actually, we will be talking about specifically healthy eating and tips to 5 tips to actually eat healthy and make that into a lifestyle this year. So we will have Dr. Achyuthan also join us, and we will be sharing what worked for us personally and also from his experience with patients, what works for patients. He will be talking about several useful tips to help us stay on track this new year and make healthy eating into a lifestyle rather than a diet that you put up with for the first couple of weeks somehow and then go back to eating what you used to. So this is a very appropriate live to start the new year with, we think. I hope that it'll be useful for all of you as well. Hello, hi. If you also have any specific questions, please feel free to leave it in the comments. We will get back to it at the end of the video. Wonderful. Just waiting for Dr. Achyuthan to join the live. All right, while we wait for Dr. Achyuthan to join us, a quick recap of 2021. So 2021 was the year where plant-based diets went mainstream, especially in India, for all reasons, ethical, environmental, as well as health reasons. So we will probably see this trend go up this year. And hello.
Hi Shyamla, hi everyone. Lovely to be here. Very happy New Year to all of you.
Wonderful. So, yeah, as I was just saying, thank you so much for joining us today. I think this is a very relevant topic to get the new year started with, everyone making resolutions to get healthier. I think it's going to be helpful to keep the momentum going after the first few days of enthusiasm. So, yeah, so as I was just saying, 2021 was the year a plant-based diet went mainstream for health, environment, as well as ethical reasons. And we're going to see that trend go up this year. So I think these tips will also help people approach moving to a plant-based diet the right way and put it in perspective so that it doesn't become something that you do for a couple of months and then give up because of small mistakes.
Absolutely. That's so important because a huge majority of people get started with, I'm going to do this, I'm going to achieve this year. But then 1 week later, it all comes to a stop, or 1 month later, you're back to square one. In fact, most gyms base their income on this. They bet that you're not going to get back to the gym after the first 2 weeks, and they take a 1 year subscription from you right at the beginning. And I think if you're able to change that around, if you're going to use it in your favor by making sure that you build habits which stay with you for the rest of your life, then you may not even need to make a New Year resolution next year. You're already at your best.
Absolutely. So when it comes to healthy eating, I think today's live is about that, about how you can actually make healthy eating a lifestyle and 5 tips for people to get started. So when it comes to healthy eating, personally for me, so just a little bit of background, I upgraded to a whole food plant-based lifestyle a little over 5 years ago. And for me, having not really paid attention to what I ate before that, initially learning about healthy eating and healthy lifestyle was a bit of a challenge. So from where I started, and I think that's the case with most of us, right? People, many of us in our 20s and 30s, we are just learning about a healthy lifestyle. We don't know much about it, and that's where we are starting. So personally, for me, I would say the first step was to find the right resources and sources to learn about plant-based nutrition and healthy diet in general, and to invest some time in actually learning more, in understanding why I'm doing what I'm doing, instead of just starting off with something, because we see so many diets, there's so much information all over the place. So instead of just reading an article or following a trend, for me it was very, very helpful to find nutrition science, to find you guys, and to actually spend some time learning, and building a foundation, so to speak.
Absolutely. It's the difference between someone saying coffee is good for you, so you start drinking 6 cups a day. And then tomorrow the newspaper says it has caffeine and it's bad for you, so you stop drinking it. And then day after tomorrow, someone else says, no, no, you have to start again this particular coffee blend. And there's so much of confusion, you don't even know what to do. At the end of it, you just throw your hands up and say, okay, I'm just going to do what I want, forget about all of this. But
Yeah.
instead, if you spend time learning, and it's not something that's difficult, it's not something that you need to spend 5 years. I spent 5 years learning it, but you don't need to spend 5 years learning it. It's actually quite straightforward. It hardly takes 1 month. And that's how we've created the plant-based diet masterclass on nutrition science, right? 1 month, and you know everything you need to know about plant-based nutrition. You know all the basics to live a longer, healthier life that are based in scientific research. It's the simple things like, for example, if someone says, eat brown rice, it's good for you. You may try it for a day and then it doesn't get cooked properly, or it tastes different, or your mother-in-law doesn't like it, and you just give up on it on the next day onwards. But if you learn that brown rice is healthier than white rice because it has fiber, because it has phytonutrients, because it has calcium, because it has oryzanol, it has the fiber in the brown rice can boost your gut microbiome. It can help you to actually lose weight. Can you imagine rice helping you to lose weight? That actually happens when you switch from white rice to brown rice. When you learn all of this, then no one needs to tell you to do it, because you make a decision saying, hey, I think this is better. Let's try this. Then you try it 2, 3 times until you get it right. Then it just becomes a natural part of your life. So learning is so important. That's a great first step.
Absolutely. There's something very empowering about doing something after knowing why, rather than just doing something because someone told you to. So, yes, the first step or the first tip is to spend some time, find the right resources, and learn about plant based nutrition, a healthy diet, before you get started. So, personally, for me, the second step was to start with what's easy, because many of us come from lifestyles where we've gone so far away from what is healthy for us. So there are a lot of changes that we may have to make. That was definitely the case for me. So when I heard about, or when I started reading and learning more about the various things in my lifestyle that I had to change, I found that if I started with what is easy for me, I would actually enjoy it and continue the process, and also start seeing positive benefits in my life by making those one or two small changes. And that's exactly how it went. So for me, the first steps that were easy for me is to add fruits to your diet, because it's so simple. We live in a tropical country. We get fruits all year round. It's not very expensive. So for me, that switching out of white rice and maida, at least on a day-to-day basis, was very easy. I didn't have any difficulty adapting to the taste of unpolished rice or millets. In fact, I loved it. So moving to that, I used to really like ragi mudde and jowar rotis and all of that. So moving away from refined grains was easy. And the third thing that was easy was cutting down certain dairy products. Again, this was just on a day-to-day basis. The ones that I struggled with a little more was cutting out all dairy products. Sugar was again a difficult one. Oil, again, it was not on the easiest side of things for me. So when I personally started off with what was easy for me, I found that that really helped me build on that. And I found the same thing with some friends of mine. So I've had a friend who found it very easy to cut out dairy because she was lactose sensitive to begin with. So, it was just like magic. She could just cut it out in a day, but was struggling with whole grains. She didn't like the taste of unpolished rice. So that way. So I think for me, that really worked. And I would really recommend that as step 2.
Absolutely. It's much easier to eat a fruit than to cook a dish without oil. Put it that way, right? So much easier to increase your intake of healthy foods than cut out the unhealthy foods. So we always recommend start with the easy steps first. Start doing that first. Eat more fruits, eat more vegetables. Fruits and vegetables are good for you. There's literally no argument against that, right? So start eating fruits and vegetables. Start with the simple, easy steps first and add healthy foods to your diet. What happens is next to magical. After a week or two, people come back to us and say, like, the people who, for example, when we start the Plant Based Diet Masterclass, the first time, so we have a live session every Sunday, a get together and a discussion. And the new people who come, they're so excited and say, okay, I'm going to try all of this week. And then they just try it. We tell them, look, just you know, top up your fruits and eat a lot of salads and start cooking some delicious recipes. Here are some recipes. Try it out. 1 week later, 2 weeks later, they come back and say, Doctor, I've stopped oil, I've stopped dairy. I didn't even realize I don't even need it anymore because I'm so full with all of this delicious food. That's called the crowding out effect. It's amazingly powerful, and we use it in the masterclass to help you to completely switch by starting with easy steps first, and then even the more complicated steps become easy because you've already reached them.
Absolutely. It's so yeah, that is step 2. Step 3 for me was to focus on consistently following a few good practices and making it a lifestyle before adding more. What I found was, and this was through past experience of having, it wasn't necessarily with diet, but with anything, you get so excited in the beginning that you want to like do everything. Very often that lasts for a day or two and then it comes back down to nothing because the enthusiasm lasts only for a day or two and you can get easily overwhelmed with too many changes. So what really helped me was making 1 or 2 changes into a lifestyle and then adding to that, because that way I had already, so by the first couple of weeks I had already started feeling so great with just a few lifestyle changes that I was making. So that motivated me to take on the harder, so-called the harder changes. The second thing was I already had some confidence in my ability to follow through on what I wanted for myself. So again, that helped me add on and take on the harder to do habits. And third thing, I didn't feel overwhelmed because it was very step by step. I wasn't biting off more than I could chew, and I felt good during the process. So I didn't feel like I was drastically changing my diet. I didn't feel like I was missing out or anything because it was gradual and it just felt so good.
Mhm. Absolutely. It's easier to take it step by step to set achievable goals, to achieve them. Then you just feel so good, you feel like continuing. You don't drop out.
Absolutely. So the next, is it step 4? Yeah.
Yeah.
So step 4 is, for me personally, is to not get dejected by failure or by not able to do things once or twice. What I found was, even though, on most days I was able to eat healthy and move towards eating a healthier diet, I did find that there would suddenly be a day where you're seeing something that was earlier your favorite, and you just give in and you eat that, whether it's a biscuit or a cup of coffee or whatever. I found that instead of feeling guilty about it and feeling like I have failed, to actually look at it as a process of getting healthier, in that there will be roadblocks and hurdles and failures. And the way I went about it was to say, yes, today this happened, but I can always go back to eating better tomorrow. So not letting these small failures and not letting those things actually pull you back, but instead using it as, or understanding that it's a part of the process.
Absolutely. It's like the potholes on Bangalore roads. You step out, you're going to go into a pothole at some point, sure. And there's different potholes every day in different places. You can't even see it at sometimes, right? So, but then you get out of the pothole and you move on. You don't even think twice about it. You just focus on the road in front of you on the next step. And that's so important. Focus on the positive, not on the negatives. Yes, today you went a little off course. Tomorrow, what are you going to do? That's going to decide how healthy you are day after tomorrow. Are you going to come back and start eating healthier again? Or are you going to reverse and go back into the same pothole? That's what counts. You focus on the positive, keep moving forward, then you can achieve permanent health a lot easier.
True. And the last tip that I have for today is to look at health as a long term goal and not focus too much on the short term results that we may have started this for. Like, a lot of people start eating healthy or want to go on a diet to lose weight. That is a short term goal, and that's actually something that is a side effect of getting healthier. At least that was my experience from it. So to keep my sight and eyes on the long term goal, I found was very helpful. So for me personally, I didn't really see too much weight loss or fat loss for months. I think 3 or 4 months I didn't see much at all. And suddenly, I think after the fifth or sixth month, I started moving towards my ideal weight. And the drop was quick and sudden. But had I not focused on health, by overall health, I would have felt dejected in the first 3 or 4 months and wanted to give up because, oh, you're not losing weight or you're not getting whatever result you initially were motivated by. For me, I think that really kept me going. And of course, you will see overall health and overall healthy results, but it takes different time for different people.
Absolutely. Making a goal of losing this many kgs in this much time, it's like putting your happiness in someone else's control, someone else's hands. It doesn't work. You are going to feel sad and dejected because you didn't achieve it, or you may achieve it and then slip back, and there's so much of scope for feeling disappointed at the end of it. But if you make your goal something that is within your control, like something that is linked to your effort and not to the outcome, then you succeed no matter what. And this, in fact, is one of the core principles of Karma Yoga. So in the Bhagavad Gita, one of the slokas that was recited by Krishna, it says Yoga Karma Kaushal, which means that yoga is skill in action. So, which means that you take up something, you do it to the best of your ability, give it your everything, do it to the best that you can, and then forget about it. Don't worry about what happens later because that's not in your control. There are so many other factors controlling it, and if you put your happiness on the what do you call it? If your happiness depends on that outcome, you may be happy, but you may be disappointed as well. So don't do that. Instead, make your goal something that is in your control, something that is your own effort. Like, for example, I'm going to do my best to exercise half an hour every day, or I'm going to eat three fruits a day for the next 1 year. I'm going to eat greens on a daily basis. I'm going to buy greens and cook them, or I'm going to grow greens at home and cook them every day for the next 1 year. Or I'm going to learn a new plant based recipe every day. Right? So that is your effort. That's within your control. That's achievable, that's practical, and that gives you the results that you want. The happier you are with your results, happier you are with your efforts, the more you're going to follow it, the more you're going to follow through with it, the more you're going to continue it, and the faster you're actually going to get to those results that you wanted all along. So that's the best strategy. Shift your focus from the results to your efforts and make great health your number one goal. Weight loss happens as a side effect. You'll reach your ideal weight very easily once you do this.
Very true. I think just having this kind of guidance and a clarity of a thought of why you're doing what you're doing and doing these things step by step really ensure that these habits or these endeavors actually become a part of your lifestyle, because it's been 5 years and it's never like I haven't eaten this much when it comes to variety or even quantity, dare say, because when you eat healthy, you actually get to eat more, right?
More,
Especially,
you eat more and you weigh less.
yeah, and to know that everything that you're eating is actually contributing to your well-being, to feel energetic, to feel light, and to feel so good at the end of it is so rewarding, and it just makes a lot of sense to go on this journey. And to everyone who's starting your New Year resolution and who want to eat healthy this year, I think I wish you all the best, and I hope that these steps have been helpful, in your own journey, and you find joy in the process as well. Because healthy eating, unlike popular belief and the narrative that we are fed, is not boring, it's not bland, it doesn't mean portion control or restriction. It's actually such a joy, because you actually get start feeling so much better, and that's something that is unparalleled. You can't compare that feeling to anything else.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time for this live video, Shamla, and thank you everyone for joining us here today. We're wishing you all a very, very happy New Year 2022. We hope this year is filled with abundance, filled with great health for you and your families. If you face any difficulties anytime with your health journeys, feel free to get in touch with us. You can comment on one of our posts or send us a message. Also, feel free to check out the free plant-based recipes course on nutritionscience.in. It has over 200 different plant-based recipes. So you can go through them for the next 1 month and still not have finished making all of them. It's huge collection. If you're wondering what to cook, what do I eat, how do I prepare, then all the answers you need are there. If you want to make a complete kickstart and get started with all the steps you need to take, check out a plant-based diet masterclass. It's an intensive course. It's a guided course where Shamla, me, and our team will be available for you all through, and we'll handhold you through the entire process of adopting a plant-based, whole food, plant-based diet. Thank you all so much for coming. Wishing you all a very happy new year. Be blessed.
Thank you, and we'll see you soon.